Jake Retzlaff expects to be suspended following a civil suit accusing him of sexual assault. Let's talk about what that means for BYU, what that means for him, and how did we get here in messy June? What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If that is something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. What do you think BYU is going to do at QB2 for what looks like QB1 in the preseason? We're here because June has been mess. We've had more to deal with Michigan, Jim Harbaugh being implicated in a suit against Matt Weiss. We've got Matt Weiss still going on, and the feds, after hacking more than 2,000 people's personal information. We've got Michigan with the infractions, and now we've got Jake Retzlaff and a sexual assault suit where a lady has accused him of just that, right? This case is before Utah's 3rd District. Retzlaff and his attorney asked for the case to be immediately dismissed. It has not been. This stems from a sexual assault that is alleged to have occurred in November 2023. Okay, so why is Jake Retzlaff facing a suspension before anybody has been able to find fault with him? Simple. He goes to BYU, right? Now, according to sources that the Salt Lake Tribune has reported, it's facing a 7-game suspension, which is more than half the season, which basically means you're not playing, right? So what needs to happen next? And as far as the football is concerned, we'll talk about. But again, let's make clear what BYU is doing and why BYU is doing this. Now, again, Retzlaff asked for the case to be dismissed. I don't think that would have mattered. I think the case being brought in the first place, the charge being brought in the first place, is enough for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to make an informed decision about what they want to do, because they have an honor code which they enforce and they hold very, very seriously. Among other things in the code, it prohibits premarital sex and instructs students to, quote, live a chaste and virtuous life. This is what Retzlaff knew he was signing up for. Retzlaff, who is Jewish by, religion. And I thought, oh, this is a really cool story because, I mean, we got Jewish quarterback playing at BYU, and they go 11-2 in 2024. They get a resounding win against Colorado in the Alamo Bowl. They look like one of the better teams in all of college football, and they just missed out on making the college football playoff. Kalani Sitake still looking for a signature victory to go with what has been an outstanding start to his career with Zach Wilson, now Jake Retzlaff coming in there. Now it feels like he's got to go find another quarterback to go figure out what to do next in 2025. The nice thing for BYU is that it's deep at quarterback, right? You got at least a couple of guys that I think you can go with in McKay Hillstead and Bear Bachmeier. Bear Bachmeier, who was committed and enrolled at Stanford before Troy Taylor got fired. Then he entered the transfer portal, and he came out at BYU and is expected to be QB2, though McKay Hillstead was the guy that many people thought might end up getting the job after Retzlaff graduates 2025. All this is, preceded by Retzlaff returning to BYU in 2025, not even messing with the NIL aspect of it or going to the transfer portal, even flirting with the NFL. He wanted to play at BYU again, and there were lots of reasons to think that that team might be a top 25 program going into this season at one point or another. Maybe not preseason, but they could absolutely get there in a Big 12 that is chock full of dudes. Now you're about to head into Big 12 media days, not being able to answer who is your starting quarterback at BYU, at a place where everybody expected to see not only the starting quarterback be Jake Retzlaff, but that he would be one of the folks that you bring with you to media days, which is always a tremendous honor and is always a big deal when you bring a quarterback, because there are lots of programs that just refuse to do it, even if we know who the guy is going to be, right? It's just they don't want to put them in that position, because not everybody's going to be Ty Simpson, Manning Passing Academy, where they have good things to say. They might do what Thomas Castellanos does, which is say, hey, I want Bama. Nick Saban ain't there to save them anymore. Okay. So what do you have in Bear Bachmeier? Well, you've got the younger brother of Hank Bachmeier, who played at Boise State, among other things, in Wake Forest. Was decent enough, right? We like watching Hank play. Tiger Bachmeier, who is a wide receiver at Stanford. And now we got the youngest brother, Bear, who, according to Greg Biggins, has all the tools you want. Big, sturdy, strong guy, 6'2", about 225 pounds. But being a true freshman and playing this position is not the same as being, a sophomore playing this position. So maybe it's McKay Hillstead, right, that you want to go with. I'm of the opinion that you're going to have to grow somebody up in a hurry. Like, that's just it. There's no portal quarterback that's on the horizon for you here. There's no I don't see you putting Treson Burgett's in there, even though he was fine at Arizona State. There's a reason why he's fourth on the depth chart for many people. But it is underscoring what a big deal it is to have a guy on your team that you know can take those snaps if you need to. I mean, and this is what we had with Carson Beck last year, with knowing that, yeah, we got a guy that we like in Gunnar Stockton, but even if we didn't, we got another guy in, playing at Sacramento State now, was working with UNC, was at Florida. Oh, man, it's going to bug me to no end that I do not have your name at the top of my list. So I'm going to go ahead and do this right now while we're live on air, because I don't believe in the whole, like, I'm going to edit out this part of me that is somehow forgetting the names of more than 11,000 football players that have come through FBS each and every year. Oh, man, it's just going to, I can see your face, too. That's bugging the crap out of me, because I thought he would have been a great fit at Jaden Rashada. Good Lord. There's no Jaden Rashada to come through the door for you if you BYU, who I think could have been a great fit. I don't know about the honor code part, but that ain't really the impediment that people think it is. And now I'm hearing you've heard me stumble through most of this. Consider subscribing to the podcast on Apple and Spotify, where I will give you one of these cool stickers if you go to Apple and Spotify and leave us a 5-star review, and hit the link in the description below where you can fill out the form and tell me where I'm going to send the sticker. Because obviously, a dude that's going to take time to go look up on the computer, like the bear, what Jaden Rashada's name is a dude you should be listening to. Good God, man. Like, I usually pride myself on, having the 2 deep for most people all the way through the offensive line, defensive line. But this was one in which I was just gone, dog. Carson Beck, Gunnar Stockton, to Jaden Rashada. So Jake Retzlaff, we'll see, right? If they hand him the suspension that he thinks he's going to get 7 games, it's going to be difficult to see that dude not hit in the portal, especially if the civil suit comes to nothing. It's going to feel hard done by. But it's also the honor code. Like, you understand it. You understood it when you signed it. They're going to enforce it. Utah's right there if you feel some kind of way about it, which would be an interesting choice, right? I don't think he should go, but to go cross town to the rival, right? Or I should say in-state to the rival, that would be interesting. There are lots of other places that could do with Jake Retzlaff's skill set. I'm just not sure that it's one that anybody's looking for just now, because by now you got your quarterback, right? Even Tennessee was able to get their quarterback late in the process. They just basically did a trade swap with UCLA. Joey Aguilar goes from UCLA, or I should say goes from Appalachian State to UCLA to Tennessee. Nico Iamaleava goes from Tennessee to UCLA. You could also look around at some G5 or G6 schools that you like. Like, I'm thinking about perhaps Texas State if they want to go a different way. I don't think they do. Like I said, everybody's got their quarterback, or at least they think they got the guy they're going to roll with. And after you put enough time and energy into that dude during spring ball, you're loath to make the decision to not let that dude compete for the job. And this is also the time when people say, hey, nothing is for certain, nothing is for sure. We'll see how it goes in preseason camp. But you always know who the guys are at the top of the list. I mean, this was even going back to Michigan last year. You wanted Alex Orji to be the guy. He wasn't it. Then you wanted Davis Warren to be the guy, and he had to be it because Jack Tuttle wasn't ready to go, and you didn't trust either one of the Jadens. So Denagle is now at San Diego State, among other things. Again, it's musical chairs, and for the process to be this late, where we're going into the new fiscal year for BYU to be looking for a quarterback, it's not great. Jake Retzlaff might be looking for a new home the new fiscal year while everybody else is going to media days. It's not great. But none of this is great, right? This all sucks. Like, if nothing else, just honor the honor code. So we got to talk about this.